On today's show, we reflect back on the year and pour one out for some fallen legends we've lost. Which stars bit the dust and are feeding the worms? We'll tell you this and more on today's In Memoriam 2025 episode of Six Picks Music Club. Welcome to Six Picks Music Club, a music podcast for people who feel bad for Gene Hackman's dog. Hey, listener, you're listening to Six Picks Music Club, the music podcast where each episode we pick 6 songs based on a theme. Welcome back if you've been with us from the beginning, and if you just randomly found us in your recommended list, then you're a sick bastard. What can I say? Game recognizes game. We drop new episodes every other Wednesday, so share our show with your friends if they like podcasts, dick jokes, and rock and roll. And if you're brand new, go ahead and listen to all our old episodes at once. You can definitely listen and operate heavy machinery at the same time. While it may be mind-altering and habit-forming, no one has ever died overdosing on Six Picks Music Club. So just go ahead and like and subscribe to catch all of our new sods as soon as they drop. I'm your host, Dave, and I've been listening to music for 100 years, so you know it's good. And with me, as always, are 2 music critics that are my personal heroes and co-hosts, Russ and Jeff. How are we, guys? What's going on?
Still alive, man. Staying alive.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. An old man once told me, asked him how he was doing. He's like, well, son, I'm sitting on the dash. I'm like, He's like, the dash on the headstone. I guess it hadn't ended yet, so he's hanging out on the dash before it shows the year he dies.
And every time he says that joke, he has to explain it. And
yes,
people
exactly.
are like, oh, okay. I guess. He's like, I'm just trying to start that, but really nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about, so I'll just keep explaining it, I guess.
But it worked.
These whippersnappers are going to catch on.
I still say it sometimes for some reason because it stuck with me because it's the weirdest fucking thing to say to people. So it is working, old man. It's working. He probably is no longer sitting on the dash. I believe he's off the dash now.
He's dead, feeding worms.
I suspect he's probably dead by now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if he was old 10 years ago, he's even older today. So likely dead. And, if you've been listening to the show, death is a common topic we get to, especially when we talk about rock and roll stars. So we do this every year. We're going to look back. But before we, get going, we got to get the doors open. So let's not stand around like a couple of monkeys trying to fuck a football. What's the password, Jeffro?
To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye. There's the rub. Hamlet. Beautiful.
Okay, well,
okay, whatever, dude.
Let's just take a look it up. The doors are opening up, and here we go. Oh no, Ophelia's still down facing the pond, but the rest of us, let's get
Face
inside.
in the pod, dude. I love it. Face down in the pod.
Well, hey, Jeffro, you were saying you are father to some vagina scouts, is that right?
Yeah, so speaking of death.
Are we supposed to say vulva now? Is it vulva scout?
Vulva scout, yeah.
Vulva scout, okay.
We got the Justin Bieber scouts that we do up here. Last week, it was on a Saturday night starting at 5. I took the boys, 7 and 4 years old, to their first camp out with Bieber Scouts, and it lasts from 5 p.m. Saturday to 5 p.m. Sunday.
Okay, wait. So you're calling it Bieber Scouts, but it really is a Beaver Scout. Is that right? Like
it's a Beaver Scout
because he's Canadian, isn't he? Isn't Bieber a Canuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it would be fun if it was Bieber Scouts. It's good enough for me. Yeah. So the whole week, if I'm being honest, let's back it up. When I'm signing them up for Bieber Scouts, I was like, it'd be cool, like for all of us to go camping. And my wife's not into camping, and so that's never going to happen like a family thing. So it's like, I'll join us up to Bieber Scouts, and I'll be a scouter, that oversees the whole thing. We'll all go camping together. It'll be real bonding experience. So day one of camping is coming up, and all last week if I'm being honest, I was just dreading it because I was like, dude, it's like 20 kids, 2 of whom are mine, 5 other adults, and we've got to go. This is practice camping, so we have to go stay in like a community building on the edge of a park somewhere inside with all these kids overnight, and they're like 5 to 7 years old. So some of them still, maybe don't go pee by themselves, and so it's like it's an insane thing to do. So I was like, the whole time I was like, man, this is gonna really suck.
But you're in a community building, not like a tent, so like not actually camping though?
They stayed in tents, 2 big tents inside the building to get them like accustomed to that. But I was also worried, like kids sometimes get freaked out when they're away from their parents for the first time and just staying in a tent in a strange building. And so I was like, this could be like a melee, So we go in. And it's like it's 5 p.m. and I had a racquetball with me, so I just started playing racquetball with all the kids. So they're running around, going berserker, and then we feed them mac and cheese or whatever, and that we set up their giant tents with them. So they were pumped about that. Then the leader of the pack is named Rusty, by the way. Ehab, he's from Egypt. He was like, okay, we're gonna watch a movie, and we sit down to watch a movie. It's projecting off his computer, and it's a documentary about beavers.
Nice.
And so I was like, what are we watching? He's like, it's a documentary about beavers. I was like, I watch one of those every night I go into Pornhub. Am I right? And he didn't think it was funny. So we watched a doc about beavers, and it's around Remembrance Day up here, which is like Veterans Day. And that's when everybody wears the poppy seed. And so then we have like around the fireside, there's no fire, but a fireside chat about animals that sacrifice in war as well. And so Rusty's telling a story, and he's like, have you ever heard about the dog that helped the Canadian soldiers? And everybody's like, no. And he's like, the dog is named, I don't know what the dog's name was, Toby the dog. And he was a big 40-kilogram dog and blah, blah, blah. And so we're all like, listening. And he's like, and he went to the Vietnam War, and there were some Canadian soldiers that were in a hospital, and the Vietnamese threw a grenade in, and Toby picked it up and ran off into the woods, and the grenade exploded and killed him. And so he made the ultimate sacrifice. And all the kids were like, what the fuck, dude? And I was like, Jesus. And he's like, now let me tell you about Tiny the elephant, who is trained to fight forest fires. And there was a giant forest fire in Nova Scotia, and they flew him in on a helicopter and dropped him in. He was carrying huge buckets of water and bringing water to places where the helicopters and the trucks couldn't reach. And what happened to Tiny the elephant? He breathed in too much smoke and died and burned to death. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, where the fuck is all this going, dude? We're about to put these kids down to sleep, man.
Yeah.
And so then,
oh my God.
So then he was like, it's okay, I'll lighten the mood.
Let's go hunt a whale, Ehab. Sorry.
Yeah. So he's like, he decides to lighten the mood, and he shows them Tom and Jerry before bed. And so then they're just watching Tom get smoked by Jerry for a while, get the shit kicked out of him. So it's just animal cruelty night over here at the Beaver Scouts. And then okay, so he's like, all right, all the scouters go downstairs to where you're gonna stay, and where we ended up staying was on the concrete floor of a basement with sleeping bags. So that was pretty terrible. I slept right next to a cat bed in a basement. But this crazy guy sits in a chair all night long, stays awake in case the kids need anything. And when they wake up, he just goes, go back to bed forever. And they ultimately do go back to bed, and they just sleep through the night in those tents. And then you wake up, and make Eggo pancakes and coffee and just roll through the 9 hours more of activities.
What does he do at night? Is he on his phone or is he just like staring at the
No,
tents?
he's just sitting. I think he dozes off. It's like he's like airport sleeping. You know, when you have to stay in an airport.
Yeah.
And he's like sitting on the chair. And he's kind of dozing off, and a kid wakes up. He's like, "Okay, what do you need? All right. Yeah, go to the bathroom." And then they go back to bed, and he kind of dozes off again. But
is he
terrible
the leader
way to spend a night.
He's just a camp guy.
He's the leader of our scout colony, and so he like does all the programming, and he's done like 75 campouts because you get like a crest for every one of them, and he has a blanket with 75 on there from
Holy
like dating back to when he was a kid in Egypt and then in France, and like it's nuts, dude. He's done a lot of these.
Does he have kids?
He does not have kids. He does not have kids.
Did you just leave a
It's just
weird random guy watching the kids while everyone goes down to a basement to sleep?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the way that goes. And
Are there beavers in Egypt? I'm trying to how they connect the dots there. Okay,
Egypt beavers, dude.
Got it.
No, when he did it, it was Boy Scouts, and it's just the Canadian little kid scouts are called Beaver Scouts, and then they'll go into Cub Scouts later. So Cub Scouts is like universal, but our little kid version is Beaver Scouts. Anyway, we did some activities the next day, but dude, by 1 p.m. the next day, I was just in running out the clock mode. I was seriously like kneel down, run out the clock, hope the other team doesn't have any timeouts left. Like I was so exhausted of kids. It's too many kids for that long of a period of time.
That's a lot, and they don't run out of energy.
What are the activities that are you doing on the Sunday of Beaver Scout camp out in a compound on a concrete floor?
In order on Sunday, we woke up, made pancakes for all of them. Eggo pancakes in the microwave. Not great. They love it.
One microwave for 20 kids? That's awesome.
One microwave. Yeah, they were just like ravenously hungry and just crushing these pancakes. Then after that, we taught them how to do the dishes like you do when you go out camping. So you set up 3 tubs and
throw your shit on the ground and walk away.
Yeah, burn it. Yeah, bring paper plates and burn them. We didn't do that.
The bears love it. Tiny would have a problem, but Tiny won't come because she can't breathe anymore.
Some of the worms will eat the embers and they will die, but that's about it. And so the circle of life. So we did that. Then we taught them how to light a match and then use the match to light a candle. Then we taught them cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, and it was like a little sheet of paper, and they had to go north and south to put a clue together, and they hated that, and they had no attention span for that. Then we went on a hike, and the hike consists of walking down the city streets to McDonald's, and then we get back from that, and it's 1 p.m. So we have 4 hours left after all of that, and I was like, dude. Oh my God. It's talking about dying. This is the In Memoriam episode. I was dead. I had nothing left to give. And then we just had to do more games, coloring, fucking just throwing everything at the wall, waiting for parents to show up at 5. Like it was next time I'm going to convince them like, let's just all go at 2 p.m. But the regular campouts are 2 days long. So I did half of one.
Yeah.
It's too much, man.
Well, so the trick is like
I think that's the plan because I'm a scouter. I mean, if I have something else I have to do, obviously I can't. Like the next one, I'm supposed to go to Duke University during the camp, so I can't go to that one, which is actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
Send your kids off with a bunch of non-parent strangers who are gonna sit and watch them sleep and
the non-parent stranger thing is weird. There's one other guy who doesn't have any. All the rest of the Scouters are like parents of kids in the thing. In his Egyptian accent, he did keep saying like it was a weird verbal phrase that he kept using. He was like, and then he would use that to come on them, and I was like, wait, what? And he's like, they have to come on them, and I was like, dude, you have to find a new way to say whatever you're saying. Like I don't know what it's about, but it's too much. Come on them, okay?
All right, well let's get into it. We've got a number of notable people that have passed on to the other plane this year. We lost Robert Redford. We lost David Lynch. Let's see. I mean, these are all TV and film personalities, but we lost a number of musicians too. So I want to take the episode today to call out some of our heroes who have moved on and share some of the songs that they blessed us with throughout their career.
Pick number one, baby.
Leading us off tonight in the pole position, we've got Jeffro with track number 1. What do you have for us, sir?
I got, it's a little overtilled. The guy had maybe the greatest going out party of any rock and roll star ever this year. Because he had a concert just a couple of weeks before passing, but this is a little tune called Crazy Train off of Ozzy Osbourne's 1980 record, The Blizzard of Oz.
Extra laughs at the end are great.
Yeah.
Also, they're saying an egg through an oscillator at the end because Ozzy was asking like one of the recording guys what he had for breakfast, and he's like, an egg. It was like through an oscillator. I guess they were testing something out, and they're like, fuck it, let's leave it in there. It's gonna be fine. It'll be great.
Okay. An egg? That's funny. Yeah, so a song featuring one of the great guitar performances in rock history by Randy Rhoads, a young man who joined forces with Ozzy when Ozzy was down and out after being fired from Black Sabbath in 1979 to be replaced by Ronnie James Dio for a bit. And apparently was spinning his wheels, just staying in a hotel room that he couldn't afford and drinking beers all day and doing drugs and feeling kind of down and out. And somebody decided to put him, get him in a meeting with some musicians, one of whom was Randy Rhoads. And he said when he first saw him, he looked like just like a little clean cut guy with manicured fingernails. And he was like, I'm not sure about this bloke. And then he heard him play guitar and he was like, holy fucking shit, dude. Gold mine. And
yeah, they were saying that the riff off of Crazy Train turned him into a guitar legend overnight. Everyone's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Randy Rhoads, that guy's fucking crazy.
He is crazy. And he only did 2 records with him. So he did Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman. And then, he died in a drinking and flying accident. That's why friends don't let friends drink and fly. That people say that all the time.
That's classic.
Yeah.
Classic
Old Randrew went. I think he was a passenger in the plane, but they were partying pretty hard, and crashed near a house and died. So this is an In Memoriam 43 years later for Randy Rhoads. But yeah, they so the provenance of the guitar riff in the name of the song Crazy Train, there are different stories, one of which is that he was just playing a riff and some effects pedals of his were broken, and so it's coming out and the bassist was like, hey, that's chugging like a train, man. That sounds like a crazy train. And then Ozzy was like, ba-bing. And I'm kidding, he didn't say. But the other one is another guy tries to, like, from Randy Rhoads, another collaborator of Randy Rhoads, claims that he was playing this song, the Steve Miller song, Swing Town. And he was showing Randy Rhoads the lick for Swing Town. He was like, check it out. If you speed up this guitar riff, what it sounds like. And he says that became the riff for Crazy Train. So
that's wild.
I don't know. I haven't listened to Swing Town in a spell. But it might be worth seeing if there's a relationship there.
I met you on somebody's island.
Yeah. Here's the question about Ozzy. If you're doing a Mount Rushmore of rock legends, is Ozzy Osbourne on Mount Rushmore?
That's a great question. I mean, rock legends, that's metal legends versus rock legends. It's, where do we draw the distinction there? It sounds like you would say yes if I were gonna gather a guess.
It's hard. It's so before this, Ozzy already had a full career, if you think about it, with Sabbath. And Sabbath is the reason that we have so my other pick is also a very influential musician in terms of one of the originals of a genre, I think. But Ozzy is definitely the godfather of metal. And he was also very influential in rock and hard rock too.
Well, yeah, he also kind of like has that shock rocker thing that Alice Cooper brought through. It was like I don't know if he's just like fucked up or he was just like really like I want to push the boundaries, and that's why I'm gonna bite the head off a bat during my show.
Well, I think that was an accident because he thought that the bat was a prop bat and it was a real bat, and
which is hilarious because after that he had to get a whole shit ton of rabies shots.
Yeah,
it was a big fuck up. But before that, do you know the Dove incident?
I don't know.
This is precursor to the bat. There are these CBS record executives. Yeah, so he wanted to intimidate them, so he bit the head off of 2 live doves and threw it at them, and then. Like that's as an Ozzy thing. So I think he was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll bite this fake," and then it's like, "Oh shit, that's a real fucking bat."
That's a real bat. Yeah, gross.
Was it alive?
The bat was dead,
or was it like a dead bat?
It was a dead bat that he bit the head off of, but the doves were alive.
Oh, and that's what inspired that Prince song, isn't that right?
Yeah, when doves die.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like when doves die at the hand of Ozzy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely people in the 80s that were like would tour with Ozzy Osbourne said that he was boyish in his need to show that he would do any dare. So they would like dare him to do stuff. And he'd be like
snorting the ants.
Yeah, snorting ants and like pissing all over himself and all over other stuff. Like he was just a wild ass, but everybody also said that he was like entirely lovable. Like he wasn't like an angry drunk that was like trying to murder you. He was mostly like just taking the piss, you know?
Well, and I think that's like one of the most redeemable things about his whole like MTV show. Like the Osbourne show was just like such a brilliant thing for his whole like career because like it took this Tipper Gore kind of sticker that's like the Hail Satan kind of killing doves at the pitch meeting or whatever, and then we see him like in real life as this lovable fumbling guy who's like trying to get his dog out of the fucking bushes, and like
but he still like just fuck around with his neighbors and like do kind of stupid shit, but just like nothing mattered, you know.
He said he would take 25 pills of Vicodin a day while filming that show.
That's crazy. He's just talking like this the whole time. He was
way high on.
He's like driving his golf cart into the bushes and stuff. But so another couple of quick facts about his life. He grew up pretty hard Scrabble and when he was 11, he was sexually abused for 2 years by two boys for an entire year. And then he became a failed burglar after that. And so he was like, it was pretty like tough for him growing up. But then, he was only 18 or 19 when they formed Sabbath, and he very quickly became a rock superstar. Another interesting thing is that he cheated on Sharon in 2016. And so if you do the math on that, dude was like 66. Like,
yeah,
being unfaithful at age 66, that's incredible. Think about it.
Did he father a child like De Niro did?
I don't think so. I don't think it was like that. I don't think it was that, but he was just getting his rocks off with the hairdresser. Oh, man. Wild.
Well, there's something that is very sensual about having a woman wash your hair. I can.
It's true. With a mint oil head massage on top. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because they're just like leaning down over your head and, rubbing your scalp. And depending on what shirt they're wearing, you can kind of you can imagine where it goes from there. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go, creeper.
It's just, sometimes you marry your hairdresser. Sometimes that's what happens.
Oh, is that how you guys met?
No, that was just like an added benefit. That was also a thing. So
I watched her cut your hair once. That was pretty good.
Free haircuts for life. Yeah. She does a good job.
Jerking off while she cuts your hair. That's great.
Precursor to the cuck chair was the cut chair. So it's like
Hey, do you know that in 2010 scientists analyzed Ozzy's DNA to try to understand how he survived decades of extreme substance abuse, and they found fucking genetic mutations that may have contributed to his iron constitution. So actually in his DNA was made to take drugs.
So he's like an X-Men, but for cocaine.
Charlie Sheen said that about himself. He was like, I don't know how to explain it, but I have tiger's blood. Because he was like, they were talking about the sheer volume of drugs that Charlie Sheen would do. I was watching this on his documentary, but he was smoking crack rocks that were like as big as golf balls, and just like smoking the whole fucking thing at one time. And people were like, oh my God, like enough to kill a man. And he just motor right on through it. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
One of his early jobs, right? Like he worked at a slaughterhouse, which I guess maybe helps when you hear the stories about him launching meat at crowds with a catapult. But he also worked at a car factory as a horn tuner. Like he tuned car horns.
Interesting.
That was the thing, apparently.
It's like, nah, that fucking horn's not quite right, everyone. And fucking turn it up a bit. You gotta fix it.
I need it at 11. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be a bit fucking louder.
A whole lot louder. Yeah.
It's awesome, dude.
Well, shit, yeah, man.
It was one of my very first favorite bands and records was Black Sabbath. I loved the first record, Black Sabbath. When I was probably I was probably about 8 years old when I genuinely started listening to that and just thought it was so badass. I don't know where I got that from. I don't know why I thought it was awesome, but I was just like mesmerized by the cover of it. It's that creepy green witch in front of the church. I was like, what is that? Is that a real witch? And then just, what is this that stands before me? Just fucking awesome, dude. So creepy and yeah.
So did Ozzy make it on your Mount Rushmore? After all,
I think if I'm speaking for myself, yes, he would be on my Mount Rushmore of rock legends. I think I would have to diversify with the others. They're not all going to be metal guys, but Ozzy for show.
Now, is this like a Rushmore
How
where
does,
you only get 4, or is it like a Trump Rushmore where you hope to put your own face up there
You
before
can add
you
a
die?
5th one later. Yeah.
As long as you overthrow the country and destroy democracy.
How did Ozzy die? Remind me.
Bat rabies.
Yeah.
Bad rabies.
Yeah, belated bat rabies. Yeah, it took 40 years to gestate. Ozzy died of a heart attack in July of 2025.
It's the shit pick!
Well, thanks for kicking us off, Jeff Rowe. That was a great first pick. And next up, we've got the shit pick. And that one is landing with Senor Russ tonight. Tell us about your pick today, dude.
All right, guys. Tonight, for the shit pick, I've got a song by band Blondie called One Way or Another from the 1978 album Parallel Lines.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you. One way or another, I'm gonna win you. I'm gonna get you. One way or another, I'm gonna see you. I wanna meet you one day, maybe next week. I'm gonna meet you. I'll meet you. I will drive past your house, and if the light.
So when a band fades out their song for like 30 seconds, what do they do live? Do they actually have a definitive end, or like I don't know if I've ever thought about that or noticed it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they usually they have an ending. They they all like the final chord or something, quang or whatever. Yeah. At the Jeff Tweedy show that I was just at, like, did they do this with you, man? Like, the bass player and then Spencer were just like jamming out for like the last, I don't know, 30 seconds to 2 minutes of that one track that was just like Diamond Light. Do you remember that one? They're just like holding steady and just keeping this whole beat going for like, I don't know, it seemed like a long time, and then it just ended.
I do not remember that, but I think we've talked about this before, but I've never understood the fade out. Why was that ever a thing? Like just in the song, stop playing the song.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, isn't that better?
So it's like
when the song just ends.
It makes me think of like in Hotel California, they're just like they're all sitting around and they're like, okay, so I'm going to tell him that like he can stop soloing. Like we're going to just, everybody just sort of fades back into the bushes like Homer Simpson.
Yeah. I think, is it supposed to evoke like the song is a forever song and you're just exiting the room as it continues to play? You know, is that what we're, because like sometimes bands will fade out like while a solo's going on and you're like, dude, why? Like, I like that. So,
or did it start with like Blondie's like, all right, this is our song. It's 6 minutes long. And A&R guys are like, this is a 3.5 minute song.
Yeah.
See you, like, there you go. That's how we're going to do that. And we just saved ourselves all kinds of money from not having to bring everybody back in the studio. We're just going to go ahead and turn that fucker down. Because you don't need to repeat the chorus 20 more times or whatever.
Debbie Harry is one of the all-time, like, if she shows up at your party, like, if you could have a party that's across all time periods of rock music and culture, one of the coolest people to have at your house party has to be Debbie Harry. She's just awesome, right? Like, she seems like she's pleasant to be around.
So Debbie Harry and Snoop Dogg show up, like, but you can only let one person in.
Oh man,
like you're at capacity, but and it's one in, one out, and they showed up together.
Dude. I think. Oh man,
is Debbie Harry like 80 or is she like 25?
Yeah,
They're both in their prime. They both show up in their prime.
I think. Oh man, that's a tough one that you're saying. I think I'm going with Debbie Harry on that one. But this would be truly hard. This is a good game, by the way.
I'm probably just evicting somebody. Like, you're fucking out, bro. I got to make room for 2 more. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. You're out. You get out,
Chris. Just get out, Chris.
All right, it's like, all right, Scott Stapp, you're out.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got in here, but you're fucking out.
You're not on the list. You're officially gone.
He's like, can you take me high? No, dude, get the fuck out. With arms wide open. I don't care if your arms are wide open, man. Go.
Really
just actually close them up.
Yeah.
Don't pick anything up on your way out. I want your arms
and
empty.
I said, oh, so I held my head up. Yeah, hold your head up high. Don't care. Go.
Go on, get.
Let's keep going with this game for a second, Dave. Debbie Harry versus Prince.
Oh, Prince.
Okay. Prince versus David Bowie.
Bowie.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's because I'm a hippie, right? Yeah.
Wait, hold on. David Bowie versus Bob Dylan.
Bowie.
Yeah, you got to go. Bowie's more fun. Sorry, Bob.
At this point, you got to find someone more fun than Bowie.
Yeah.
Well, he's just awesome. He's like the coolest guy.
Right.
Who's as cool or cooler? Okay, for you, Dave, particularly, but you have the choice between Tom York and David Bowie. Tom York is not fun, but you love
Tom
him
York is
so
gonna be
hard.
Curled up by your coffee table singing a song to himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a party where we're trying to have fun. I would say David
Yeah,
Bowie.
but it's like you get to talk to Tom York at your party though, because it's your party and he wants to come in.
Oh, okay.
But you
So what
really-
if it's
you
like
really wanna talk to him.
I'm throwing a dinner party or having a party?
It's
I
not
would
a
have dinner
fucking
with Tom
dinner
York.
party, dude. Shut up. It's a
Well-
party. You're drinking beer out of solo cups.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
Bowie.
I think
to be
Bowie would
Bowie.
still be on my list there. He
So,
would still win it out.
is Bowie the number one party guest in rock and roll history? The number one coolest party guest? Because he is one of the coolest. Like I've thought about this before. And David Bowie is like, if David Bowie's at your party is fucking awesome. Like it's off the chain badass if Bowie's there. So who could you think is superior?
Superior to Bowie to have at your party. Who would be cooler to have at your party than David Bowie?
Or more fun.
Yeah, well, it's a whole package.
Right? Keith Richards could be a good time.
Keith Richards would be fun as hell. Fun as hell. But he's also, I think Keith Richards is probably like, doing some smack and drinking real hard. And he's like, hey, let me play these records I just bought. And you're like, all right, dude, Jesus. Like he's just going to be pirating around rather than
basically me on a Friday night at somebody else's house. I brought all my own records. Just like, I'm taking over, I'm DJing your stereo.
Hey, I'm going to play Gordon Lightfoot. And you're like, God damn it, dude.
Fucking Edmund Fitzgerald, fuck you. You
guys, I just got a new Elliott Smith record. We're going to listen to it right now and really party.
It's Elliott Smith live in Tokyo. He does an extra long version of this one song. Oh, awesome.
It's like a more slowed down version of Needle in the Hay. You'd never believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, listen to how quiet the crowd gets.
Shit. The party went from being cool to sucking.
I don't think we have one better than
I don't know that it's hard to beat. I can't think of anything better than Bowie. Maybe, well, God. If we're going prime time, I think Willie would be up there.
William Nelson.
That could be fun. William Nelson.
Yeah, good dude, great dude. But still,
to have at your
not as
party,
cool as
I
Bowie.
think
That'd be more like
if
we're having a backyard barbecue party, I'd like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, July 4th party, Willie Nelson. For sure.
Yep, that checks out. Yeah, no, I like that game. Yeah, hey, what are we talking about?
We'll have to continue this game later. I'll try to find somebody superior to Bowie.
This week I'm doing like rhythm section, and my dead for this first song is Clem Burke who was a rock and roll lifer and also the drummer for Blondie, but also a sought-after collaborator with a lot of other legendary bands. Along with Blondie, he played with the Ramones for a little bit as Elvis Ramone. He played with the Iggy Pop and the Eurythmics and, a few others. He's like often cited as having worked with Bob Dylan. Like I read that he was, but I couldn't find anything on it. So I don't know. He may or may not have, or maybe he was maybe he played a couple shows with him or something. I don't know. I couldn't find anything substantial. Anyway, at one point, Clem Burke participated in a scientific study that found he could keep perfect time with a remarkably low heart rate, which earned him the nickname of drumming machine. He was apparently just a total natural, learning everything by ear since he couldn't read music like Ozzy couldn't. And there's a story that as a teenager, he once skipped school to wait outside David Bowie's hotel with a demo tape, just like to give it to him. Again, I think it's apocryphal, but who knows? It's kind of a fun story for him. And you wonder, who were we talking about? It was Jeff's guy from Americana who kind of did a similar thing, right? With the Allman Brothers and then the Alan Ramsey. What his name is? What's his first name? Ramsey? Jeff? Gordon Allen Ramsey, whatever his fucking name is. Willis.
Oh, Willis Allen Ramsey. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. He went to whatever. Anyway, it was just kind of reminded me of that where he was waiting outside for Bowie with his tape. He's like, here you go.
Yeah.
He worked as a caddy for a little while at a New Jersey golf course. And then, and when he wasn't touring, he was an avid surfer, and you could find him riding waves or hanging out in the gritty New York music scene where Blondie first emerged, right? The hit One Way or Another from Parallel Lines remains kind of a new wave classic still. It has a surprisingly dark origin story. The lyrics were written by Debbie Harry, and they were based on a real life stalker that she had. She turned that experience into what she called a sort of humorous song.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Burke's driving, relentless drum beat was kind of matching the feeling of being pursued. So thoughts that I read somewhere. And then producer Mike Chapman reportedly recorded car sound effects near the studio to give it a suburban feel, to kind of really bring in the whole stalkery kind of, especially you think of an 80s movie with the clippity clop of the heels and look behind you and whatever, getting stalked. The song became a massive crossover hit and a signature tune for the band, helping propel Parallel Lines to global success. It was later covered for the Mean Girls movie as a charity single by One Direction. Burke mentioned in interviews that his high energy made it one of his favorite songs to play live. Blondie's original members split in 1982. It was pretty acrimonious. The reunion in the late 90s still involved a lot of friction, including a lawsuit from the original bassist Nigel Harrison and guitarist Frank Infante over the rights to the Blondie name and the fact that they were excluded from touring. Those guys got booted and, man, they were not happy about it. The band also faced internal tension over Heart of Glass, so the song Heart of Glass, despite its success, some members initially resented its disco direction. Burke was candid about the band's extensive use of cocaine and speed during their heyday, but that was pretty common in the 70s and 80s. And while Blondie became global superstars, some punk purists dismissed them as fake or plastic, leaving behind their gritty New York roots in pursuit of commercial success.
Shut the fuck up.
I just gotta say though, if you're on a path, you gotta just see where it leads, right? I mean,
yeah, dude.
I'm never one to say don't be a sellout, but if you're just moving in a direction, I don't know. We have this discussion about sellouts a lot, but I'm always if it were me, what would I do? And can I really call you out for being a sellout if I would be I would do the same thing? But
the band is Blondie. It was always catchy and interesting and she was dabbling around with rap. Some people say that she was listening to rap music and she's just a sponge, sponging stuff up and being weird and being interesting. Just stay out of her way. Let her do what she's gonna do.
Their track Rapture is the first song containing rap vocals to get to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Was that 1981?
Yeah, something like that. But it's just like, I don't know, man.
The man from Mars
this kind of
was eating
criticism.
cars.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always people going to criticize, but, you know.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters are going to hate. All right, there is this kind of great little story before I'm done here. So during the 2006 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Blondie experienced a public onstage argument that turned an evening of celebration into an infamously awkward event, right? The drama centered around the band's refusal to perform with their former original members, including guitarist Frank Infante and bassist Nigel Harrison, those same guys that were throwing out lawsuits in the 90s. And so they were present during the induction ceremony, but the band went to go perform their song, and these guys were like left on the side. And So you got Debbie Harry, Chris Stein, and Clem Burke are all on stage with their current touring musicians at this point. The guitarist Frank Infante grabs a microphone and publicly pleads, pretty please, Debbie, we'd like to play with you guys, me and Nigel. And then Debbie immediately refused the request on the spot and then said, can't you see my band's up there? And then they went up and they fucking played their song, and they just left those guys standing there while they fucking played it.
Oh my God.
And just like, it's done, right? That's the same year,
Yeah,
2006, the same year that
hilarious.
Ozzy was inducted to the Hall of Fame with Black Sabbath. So they were at the same induction ceremony.
Wait,
Or
so it
one
was,
and
it
two
was the
today.
Black Sabbath induction. And then when did Ozzy get inducted as a solo artist?
Yeah, it was just last year.
Okay, anyway, so Clem Burke died of cancer in April of 2025 at the age of 70.
Music History Minute, we'll dig in their dirt. Rock stars are people, but way more pervert. One fuck of a ride through their dicks and their jugs. Music History Minute is like sex on drugs.
The final chapter of Marvin Gaye's life ended like a scene from a noir thriller, soaked in heartbreak and irony. It was April 1st, 1984, the eve of his 45th birthday. The setting, his family home in Los Angeles, a modest house that had become a pressure cooker of resentment, religion, and unresolved trauma. Inside, Marvin Gaye, Prince of Motown, voice of a generation, was spiraling. He moved back in to care for his mother, but the presence of his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., a rigid, domineering preacher, reignited old wounds. The relationship had always been volatile. Marvin Jr. once said, "It's not that I didn't love him, I just couldn't stand him." That morning, a seemingly trivial argument over misplaced insurance papers and concern for his mother's safety turned physical. Marvin, emotionally frayed and desperate, lashed out. His father retreated to his bedroom, opened a drawer, and pulled out a .38 caliber pistol, ironically a gift from Marvin himself. Then came the moment that froze time. Marvin Sr. walked down the hallway, raised the gun, and fired. One shot pierced Marvin's heart. Another followed. The man who gave us What's Going On and Let's Get It On collapsed in his mother's arms. Paramedics rushed him to California Hospital Medical Center, but it was too late. Marvin Gaye was pronounced dead at 1:01 p.m. The news hit like a thunderclap. Fans couldn't comprehend it. Marvin Gaye, murdered by his own father, in his own home, on April Fool's Day. The world mourned not just a musical genius, but a soul who had spent his life searching for peace, only to meet violence at the hands of the man who shaped his earliest fears. His death exposed the raw, painful undercurrent of family dysfunction that had haunted his art for decades. Marvin Gaye's legacy lives on. In every aching lyric, every sensual groove, every cry for justice. But the way he left us, that's the part that still stuns.
Yeah, it is a sad story, but do you think that anybody that heard about it that day was like, this is an April Fool's joke. I know what you guys are doing. No way Marvin Gaye was killed by his dad.
Dude, absolutely.
You think so? It was like cruel joke, guys.
I remember when Dave called and told me that Heath Ledger was found dead right before The Dark Knight was coming out. And I was like, it's a fucking publicity stunt. And I didn't believe it for like 2 days. And then I'm like, holy shit, he really is dead? Fuck. Are you serious? Like, that, yeah. It was one of those things where I'm just like, I was like, that's not real.
Yeah, and then Dave was telling me about that because of how big of a fan you were of 10 Things I Hate About You, that it was like so difficult for you. Like,
That's
you
true.
just loved that movie so much that it was like, oh.
I actually do love that movie, by the way.
I like that movie too.
Well, it's not just him; it's also Julia. You know, like it's just kind of a perfect movie.
Yeah, pretty
Dude,
great.
it's the scene when the teacher confiscates the pot and then he grabs a bag of chips. He's like, and these. And he just leaves.
Yeah.
That movie's got this, like, it's great.
That movie is like, it's like got the all the trappings of a teenage bullshit movie, but when you watch it, it's actually like funny as hell. And it's got what's that dude's name? Larry. He plays her dad. He was that real dry comic from the 90s. Not Larry Miller. Is it Larry Miller?
Yeah, Larry Miller. That's right. That is right.
Yeah, he's awesome in that. Anyway,
You don't need therapy. You need to get a job.
yeah. Yeah, let's do.
Well, you know, that's
let's
some
do a
source
whole ep
material
on
there.
10 things I hate about you later. After Scores 3, the pod episode.
Music History Minute is like sex on drugs.
Let's get back to Six Picks.
Welcome to the middle pick fuckers.
All right. Well, next up is me. I've got pick number 3, and this will be my first track of the night. And it was written in 1966 after Brian Wilson had smoked a bunch of weed. The version we're going to listen to is his reworked version from the 2004 album Brian Wilson Presents Smile. So let's get into those good vibrations.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitation. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitation. I'm picking up good vibrations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitation. I bet I know what she's like, and I can feel how right she'd be for me.
What makes that like? Is it a theremin?
It is a theremin, yeah.
Yeah, dog.
That's pretty spot on there. It's cool.
Hey, real quick question. Did he do a remix or a re-recording for when he releases on Smile?
So this is a re-recording, like a reimagining of that original session. So for listener, Brian Wilson Presents Smile is a record that came out in 2004, which is basically the finished version of what was started originally as the record Smile in 1967. But because of Brian's sort of mental health and drug addictions and the project just becoming overwhelming and too massive, it never got finished. And then was later kind of half finished and released as Smiley Smiles or something like that. And then I think in 2010, they did a box set of the Smile Sessions, which was, this archivist work where they went back and pulled all of the recordings that they had from there and tried their best to kind of piecemeal together like the most finished versions of the actual recordings. And so like when you listen to that compared to this 2004 recording, it's really interesting because, obviously in 2004, Brian's voice is completely different. And you can hear that in this track that he definitely sounds like an older Brian Wilson. So in that Smile Sessions compilation, you get to hear those sort of voices of when they were young. And, on that version, I think there's like a didgeridoo instead of the theremin, which isn't actually in the single version either. But,
more like
this all,
don't.
Yeah, that's exactly what Mike Love said when he heard it, which was a bit of a sticking point there. So a little background on Brian. He was born on June 20th, 1942 in Inglewood, California, and grew up in L.A. So Carl and Dennis were his brothers who were in the band with him. Carl Wilson, Dennis Wilson. They formed the core of the Beach Boys, and their dad was kind of a hard ass. He was pretty rigorous, harsh. But anyway, they started this band initially called the Pendletones, and they released a song called Surfin' in November of 1961. And that got them a little bit of success and ended up leading to them changing their name to the Beach Boys. So, like, they would then kind of become emblematic of that California surf sound, you know, sunshine, cars, girls, surfboards, harmonies. And, eventually that led them to Capitol Records. And that's when Brian started kind of...
Capital?
Crappital Records.
Crap
They signed with
Capital Records?
I guess. Yep. Sorry. I still don't know how to talk. Big surprise after 57 episodes. But yeah, this is where like Brian first started to not just be the singer, songwriter, and performer, but he was also producing and arranging all of the recordings. So like behind the scenes, he's getting really into studio stuff. So that was a kind of a turning point in 1964. His role started to change and shift, and he didn't really like touring all the time. And he started to withdraw a little bit, get inward a little bit, and focus on the studio work. And so the band would still go tour, and he would just kind of hang back. And so he was just living in Hollywood in the early 60s and smoking a lot of weed, smoking hash, taking LSD, like, being a 60s California hippie kid. And then in 65, they did Pet Sounds, which has been this watershed moment of pop music with orchestration and emotional depth. And, I think the thing was, though, that Brian didn't really feel like the song fit the finished album sequence, and he left it off. It was originally released as a single in October of 66 and not released on Pet Sounds that came out in May. So it was not on there.
That song was on no album. Is that right?
It was released as a single, yeah.
Yeah,
and then
just
it
a single.
Was,
how crazy.
But it was one that he was trying to rework during these Smile sessions. So the single was still really massively successful. It's like one of their most successful songs. It's like groundbreaking Beach Boys classic. It's got this, pop symphony.
I love the theremin in it.
That was played by the inventor of the theremin also.
Oh, okay.
Paul Tanner. He's the one who played it in this song.
I believe it.
Do you know that he also invented, he was an inventor of many things, but he also invented TheraFlu. And so those are his two things, theremin and TheraFlu. And that's it.
So
both
based on the success
very helpful things.
Yep. We gotta
need
fight
space
that.
Sounds. You got the theremin. You need to
got the flu.
Yeah, you got the flu. You need to feel a little bit better.
You have to take it early, though. If you wait too long, the TheraFlu is just not as effective. So theremin
right?
doesn't have those same restrictions.
There was a pill that the doc gave my kids when they got the flu last year. And they're like, well, if you take it early, it'll help out. And it's better than TheraFlu, and you'll have to take it once or whatever. Anyway, you take the pill once, and like the next day they felt better. Yeah, like they were fine. It was wild how fast it happened.
That's badass, dude. I want that.
Hell yeah. Well, so based on the success of this single and based on the success and the critical success of the Pet Sounds record, I mean, so many other bands of the time looked at that and thought like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like the Beatles were in love with Pet Sounds, and like it influenced so many of their stuff, so many of their records.
I thought it influenced Sgt. Pepper's.
That's right.
Pet Sounds was inspired by Rubber Soul, and then Pet Sounds inspired Sgt. Pepper. Like they were like playing off each other a little bit there.
Really cool time to be a musician, I guess, or a lover of music, because so much shit was happening. But so based on that, he had this vision for like a kind of a more playful teenage symphony to God, is how he described it. And so like he started doing this whole thing with Van Dyke Parks, who was like the co-writer, and they were doing something cosmic and experimental, and And he actually like put a sandbox in his living room, like built a giant sandbox, and because he wanted to have like a childlike sort of creativity sort of element there. And so they would record in his sandcastle box in his living room.
Totally wasn't drug fueled at all.
No, right. This childlike environment that he wanted to have. But ultimately, it was a lot. It was too much. So like the record was ultimately shelved. And, from there forward, like Brian's output kind of just went further down the spiral. Like he continued to withdraw and became more of a drug abuser and had other mental issues that kind of came through. So he just kind of faded away for a little while. And then he was in some controversial therapy relationship with his psychologist, Eugene Landy.
Eugene Landy, yes. That is a fucking crazy story.
Wait, what? Excuse me, what was that?
So Eugene Landy is like his psychologist and kind of...
Well, first he starts like over-medicating him and then like takes over control of his life. Yeah. And then like his career and his finances and like changes his will. He's got Brian Wilson so high that he's just got him like doing things. And then he started giving himself co-writing credit on these songs, which is
right.
Like,
that's awesome. Just to make some money.
Shit ton of money off the royalties until finally he got like barred and then they stripped his name from there. But like, wow, that is nuts.
Yeah. He does have a little bit of a comeback. You fast forward in the new millennium, and now Brian Wilson's got this opportunity, healthier habits, and this sort of revived interest in the Smile project. But it's awesome. And then he like has this whole series of tours where he performs the Smile record in its entirety.
Did he win his only Grammy for that album? Is that right?
Oh,
I feel like he might have won
his only Grammy.
I feel like he might have won, or at least his first Grammy for this in 2004. Like he hadn't won anything, and then like. That's the one, like the shit he'd been working on for 40 years.
To really get people the opportunity to hear this vision that he had and like be it in like whatever drug fueled thing that was going on with him. It was really cool. And I remember buying this record at Waterloo Records. It might have been 2004, it might have been 2005, but it was just on one of the end caps, and it's got a really kind of fun looking cover. And I didn't know anything about the project, but I just put it on, and then it was like, oh, I know this song, Good Vibrations, sure. And it's this kind of opera of like all of these different kind of ideas, and it's a really, really wonderful record. It's interesting if you listen to this version of the song versus like the single version, the lyrics are different. The original lyrics were written by Tony Asher.
Richard Petty.
And
sorry, who?
No, Tony Asher.
Tony
wrote
Asher?
The original. It's a brother of
the Tony Asher.
Mike Asher. Asher. So anyway, Mike Love rewrote the lyrics, and those are the lyrics that you hear on the single. And so, Brian doesn't own the copyrights to his own music, so I don't think he was able to use those lyrics when he did the Brian Wilson Presents version.
Do you hear the story about when he dug a grave in his backyard in the 60s and he asked his wife to push him in? You hear that story?
Oh my God!
This guy had some fucking troubles, right? And then his wife was
demons.
also 14 when they started dating. And he was 20.
Jerry Lee Lewis of him.
Yep.
But that's so, like, think how long he lived despite being a tortured soul. Like, that's a real success story in a way, going the distance like that.
Probably wasn't this song, but the original Good Vibrations, I guess, I assume, was he pioneered the modular recording approach where he assembled the song from multiple short, distinct musical feels recorded over like all over the fucking place. He went to like the final 3.5 minutes took over 6 months to record and 17 different recording sessions in 4 different locations.
They have 90 hours of recording for this song.
Holy
90
fuck.
hours of tape. 90
Why, dude?
hours.
Why did they do that?
because he was out of his mind.
That sounds awful.
But yeah, so he died at the age of 82 on June 11th, and they cite his cause of death as respiratory arrest, contributing factors including sepsis, cystasis, and obstructive sleep apnea. So he also had dementia, and was placed under conservatorship in 2024. And I actually did get to see him do a performance of this album, but it was not in 2004. It was more like 2016 or 17, and he looked really old and not in a good way. That whole time, it was like he would walk out on stage, sit down at the piano, play a song, and then as soon as his vocals were done, even if the song wasn't done, he would get up and walk away, walk off stage, and then they would finish the song, and then he would come back out. And it was just sort of oh man, just guys, you're riding this guy for all he's worth, because there's a whole band, they're playing Pet Sounds live, they're playing this live, all of these things, and it all sounds really good, but it didn't look like he was. It looked like he was that whale at SeaWorld whose fin is just hunkered over.
Yeah. It's
just
it's anytime now.
Just saddle. Okay, that's what it is. But I love Brian Wilson. I love the Beach Boys, and I will forever love this record. So hope you guys enjoyed it.
Feel it in your core, it's pick 4.
All right, well, let's get back to it. Next up, Russ, you've got our 4th pick tonight. What do you got for us, my guy?
All right, man. I got a song called "Damaged Goods." It's by an old punk band called Gang of Four off their album "Entertainment" from 1979.
Your kiss so sweet, your sweat so sour. Sometimes I'm thinking that I love you, but I know it's only lust. The scent of the flesh, I simply scent of lust. Sweat's running down your back, sweat's running down your neck. Heated couplings in the sun,
Or is that untrue?
colder couplings in the night.
Never saw your body.
Your kiss so sweet, your sweat so sour.
So as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of doing a rhythm section tonight, and man, this is Dave Allen, who is on bass, and that is a fucking fun bass line in that song. Anyway, he is so Dave Allen's legacy as a post-punk innovator is kind of etched into the DNA of the Gang of Four's early sound. He was born in Kendal, England in 1955, and then joined the Gang of Four soon after its formation in Leeds in 1976. He wasn't a co-founder, but definitely a pivotal early member. His bass playing on Entertainment and Solid Gold was revolutionary. Is just taut, funky, and confrontational, kind of often functioning as a rhythmic counterpoint to Andy Gill's jagged guitar, and his bass lines injected urgency and kind of a groove into the band, which had pretty serious political critiques going on. So it turned a political statement into kind of a fun groove. It's when things start to...
No, it's very funky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Damaged Goods is the band's breakout track. It remains a defining moment of post-punk. It was released first on the independent Fast Product label before the band signed to EMI. The song's raw energy and lyrics, who sells the facts, who sells the fictions, captured the disillusionment of a generation, and Allen's bass anchors the track with a pulse that made it danceable and defiant. After leaving Gang of Four in 1981, Allen co-founded Shriekback with Barry Andrews of XTC, and then he later formed King Swamp and launched World Domination Recordings, a label that embodied his DIY ethos. But perhaps the most unexpected chapter came when Alan pivoted to tech. He worked at Macromedia, Intel, Beats Music, and Apple, helping shape digital music distribution and online media strategy. Alan saw this as a continuation of his punk values, disrupting systems, democratizing access, and staying ahead of the curve. One of Alan's proudest achievements came during his time at Intel, where he spearheaded the Portland Experience Project. It was an initiative that brought together musicians, technologists, and designers to explore the future of digital creativity. He was known for hosting salons and talks that blurred the lines between punk philosophy and tech innovation, often quoting Gang of Four lyrics to provoke discussion. In the 2000s, Alan reunited with Gang of Four for tours that reignited interest in their early work. Alan's later years were spent in the Pacific Northwest, where he was known for hiking and reflecting on the intersections of art, technology, and nature. Tragically, Alan died on April 5th, 2025, after battling early onset mixed dementia, and Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers called him a master of some of the most iconic bass lines in music history. And then like he was mourned by, bands and bandmates and fans alike, with tributes pouring in from across the music world and the tech world. And from punk provocateur to digital pioneer, he never stopped challenging norms, music, political, or technological.
Yeah, I feel like the guitar from Andy Gill is also kind of an influence on Chili Peppers. It feels like that's got a real kind of John Frusciante sort of percussive element to how he's playing guitar.
Yeah, and this would have come out, Chili Peppers started in 84. I mean, the first album came out in 84, right? So, like, this is within 5 years. And I don't know when they became a band, maybe 82, 83 probably. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure they were listening to it when they started. You're like, oh, hell yeah, we love this. Let's go. Like, it's possible. So
yeah, I'd never heard this before. It's fucking great. Like, I got to go listen to this whole record.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good song.
I also get like LCD a little bit, kind of that kind of dancey kind of. Yeah, no, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Well, and so, like, it's also interesting how kind of like the political aspect of it is there, kind of like equating like relationships to capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
And how, like, yeah, people are products and, send me back kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's take a break and chew the fat. Play that motherfucker.
Jeff, Russ, and Dave in the motherfucking chat, chewing the fat on stuff weird and whack.
Well, so today's Chewing the Fat is brought to us by Scented Power. That's right, electricity that smells. Just plug in our patented aroma socket into your wall and then choose scents from, like, freshly divorced pine, confidence of a golden retriever, and our holiday favorite, Grandma's purse. Suddenly, every time you flip a switch, your room is filled with a smell you absolutely did not need. Scented Power. Power up your nose. Okay, thanks, Dixie. Let's hear the fat.
I would argue, and I have argued, that the racquetball is the superior ball. It's a perfect ball. Do you ever play with a racquetball?
When
if
I'm
it's
playing
in your
racquetball,
hand perfect, it's a little powdery on the outside. If it's in your hand perfect, it bounces crazy. So there's a lot of action. If you're just in a big room and you get to bounce it, like, kids love running after the racquetball. It's erratic. It moves quickly. It can bounce straight up and back down and like hit the ceiling, come back down on the ground. It's got a perfect bounce to it. I would just say it's a perfect ball. Is my point.
I think the lacrosse ball is of a similar shape and bounceability, but it's so heavy.
Yeah, it's a heavy ball.
You can cause some damage. I remember as an elementary schooler, or maybe a middle schooler, we would play wall ball, and it started out with a tennis ball, but then it elevated to a racquetball, which was great unless you were on the wall and it was like somebody was tagging you in the dick with a racquetball, because that hurt.
That's not fun. That's not good.
Yeah.
And
that's bad
it
news.
takes like, we were playing with a racquetball and then we switched over to a tennis ball. It takes playing with a racquetball to realize how fraudulent and shitty tennis balls are. You know, they're like furry. They don't really bounce as well as you might hope they do. You know, it's just such a Novak Djokovic ball. Like it's just kind of annoying and prissy and like kind of a little bitch compared to the racquetball.
Yeah, I mean, racquetball's built for speed, not comfort. You know, it's ready to go.
Yeah, racquetball's
Nothing soft about it.
It's got a shaved head and it's out there ready to fucking party.
Yeah, it's Matt Damon in the Euro Trip movie singing "Scotty Doesn't Know."
And now back to Six Picks Music Club.
Keep the drive alive, it's pick 5.
All right, let's get back to Six Picks. Track number 5, we're keeping it alive, as they say. Jeffro, you're up, my friend. What do you got?
I got a little track from the frontman we lost this year, David Johansen. This is New York Dolls Trash off of the self-titled record from 1972.
Please don't you ask me if I love you. If you don't know what I'm doing, what you know is trash. Won't pick it up, take them lights away. Trash, won't get it up, don't throw your love away. Trash, won't pick it up, don't try to take my night away. And please don't you ask me if I love you. 'Cause I don't know why.
This is, of course, the New York Dolls. Let me read a little. So I think this album might have actually come out in 1973.
It sure did. It absolutely came out in 1973.
Okay, my bad. But Robert Christgau, who's his website refers to him as the Dean of American Rock Critics, which is, I think, fairly accurate. But he said, let me read his review of New York Dolls, which he gave an A+ to in 73. He goes, at least half the white kids who grow up in Manhattan are well off and moderately arty, like Carly Simon and John Paul Hammond. It takes brats from the outer boroughs to capture the oppressive excitement Manhattan holds for a half-formed human being the way these guys do. The careening screech of their music was first heard in the Cooper Union station of the Lexington IRT, and they don't stop there. Mixing early 60s pop song savvy with late 60s fast metal anarchy, they seek love, LUV, from trash and bad girls. They go looking for a kiss among the personality crises, and they wonder whether you make it with Frankenstein. That guy's fucking awesome. He wrote the best paragraphs ever. But yeah, dude, widely seen as one of the precursors to punk music.
Did you call that proto-punk? That'd be proto-punk?
Yeah, I think it's proto-punk. Like his vocals are, I mean, it's all like, they're obviously good at their instruments, which is something that distinguishes them from the punk that's going to come around 5 years later. But his vocal style is, you know, untraditional, and it's a little unstructured, you know, but also kind of like fast and energetic and all the stuff that you kind of want to find in punk, and irreverent, and the lyrics are kind of thoughtful and interesting, though. It's repeating trash a lot, but the lines, if you listen to them closely, he's saying trash won't pick it up, take them lights away. Trash won't pick it up, won't put that knife away. Trash, pick it up, don't give your life away.
Yeah.
Trash won't pick it up, don't throw your love away. It's like each line is changing and it's meaningful, which is kind of cool. It's wild to think. So this is David Johansen, who was born in 1950s. He's from Staten Island. And he started like hanging out with the kind of in the Andy Warhol scene in the late 60s. He got expelled from a school when he was like 14. He was obviously weird and didn't fit in very well and was like looking for art. And then this was a record when he was 23 years old. And then they only did 2, and then they like broke up because people were partying too hard and angry with each other, like a lot of rock bands. And so he was plugging along doing his thing. And then in the 80s, he came out with records that were like pop and calypso music and kind of weird stuff. And under the alter ego Buster Poindexter.
Yeah,
so the
Buster.
song Hot, 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 Feeling Hot, Hot, Hot that we all heard is David Johansen of the New York Dolls. And the reason he did that reinvention is that he was like, there's just songs I wanted to sing and people wouldn't take it seriously if they thought that I was the lead singer of the New York Dolls. So I had to recreate myself as another character so I could do what I wanted to do. So it was a move. A lot of times when like big time artists come up with an alter ego like Chris Gaines, they're doing it to see if they could. So they're doing it to see if they can, if they can be popular without their brand that has become a celebrity. Like if they could do it all over again and just win people over with the music or something. I think that's why they're doing it. But he was doing it just to attain freedom from his image. Like he didn't want to be seen as the punk guy anymore, so he could sing what he wanted.
I think that's probably the same with Chris Gaines.
It might be.
Chris Gaines, like, because if Garth Brooks comes out and it's like, starts putting out Chris Gaines songs, everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And instead they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, why are you recreating
it still didn't work. So, but I understand why, I think.
But the cool thing about David Johansen is that he could skip scenes because the New York Dolls were not enormous. They were still kind of like within a particular genre. Everybody knows them, but outside of that genre, it's a little esoteric. And so, outside of New York and or the, like city music. And then he's able to basically jump out into pop and do something as like a completely different person. And people were into Buster Poindexter. Like he sold way more records as Buster Poindexter than he did as the New York Dolls. And then he was also as Buster Poindexter that's not the name of his character, but he's doing that act in Scrooged, the movie.
Yeah, the
he's
taxi
the
driver,
ghost of the future or whatever.
Christmas Past,
right? He's
a cab driving Christmas Past.
Yeah, that's right.
The cab driver.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he takes somebody. He's like waterfall, or what is he saying about? He's about to cry, and he's like, it's a waterfall, I think. But it's weird to think in that movie he was only 38 years old. Isn't that?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
He comes across as like a 55-year-old guy. He was 38 when he made that movie.
Well, you're talking about he was wanting to like be in the art scene and stuff early on before he even started the band. He was in the John Lennon and Yoko Ono's their experimental film Up Your Legs Forever, the one that had like 300 sets of legs. Like one of those legs are his. He was in that.
That's interesting. So. Yeah, so he was poking around in the art scene in avant-garde in the late 60s for sure. It was pretty cool. He was an interesting dude, and he passed away in February of this year, age 75. I think he went pretty hard with cigarettes and things in his life, and so I probably all caught up with him after a while.
So when we were discussing Halsey the last episode, the New York Times called her try-by, remember? Or misquoted her as saying try-by, but he dubbed himself trisexual. Have you heard this?
No.
because he said, I'll try anything.
That's awesome.
He also voiced a character in this Netflix cartoon that is really trippy called Centaur World. You guys?
Oh yeah, my kids watch Centaur World. Yeah,
he did the show called Centaur World.
He voices so Centaur World is a world where everything is some form of a centaur. So every animal is like a centaur. So he voiced the bear tar in one of the episodes in 2021. So
that's funny.
Yeah, that show is fucking wild. It's great. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Centaur World. Noted.
So show it to the boys. My question, of course, like you probably know what it's going to be. Do you know who produced that record?
I do not.
It was Todd Rundgren.
Oh, yeah. I think I did. Didn't he play guitar on that first record, too?
Yeah, that was the thing. He was like this multi-instrumentalist, and like he was just, the band was crazy. They were like drunk half the time, half clothed. And he was like, just fucking do it. I'll fix it later. Like, I'll fix it in post. And he just would go back and re-record the guitars or the drums or anything that he just wasn't happy with, because he could
awesome.
play all these instruments really well. So,
I mean, that song slaps. If you're listening to all like the layers of the guitar, like the way it's produced, it's like mixed really well, I think, because you get the punk feeling off of it, but it's like tight at the same time.
Yeah.
So the New York Dolls were like kind of a messy sounding band apparently, but he's like, no, I'm going to fix that when you're sleeping. And then we're going to sound way better.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
basically
dude.
he went through, they were like, we're crazy. And he's like, I'm going to make it clean.
The New York Dolls were pretty androgynous in their style, right? They were in Memphis, which all the cops were already pissed off because like it was against the law to like dress as women or whatever. And so they were like, cops were all like on edge, ready to like attack for if anything went on. One of the fans came up and kissed him on the cheek, and they threw his ass in jail for it.
Wow.
Really?
A fan came up, kissed him on the cheek, and he got thrown in jail for it. Not the fan.
Oh, David Johansen did.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just like, wow.
That's
Can
wild.
you like, yep. Tennessee, baby.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
I still keep going back to the trisexual thing. That's so I love that. I'll try anything.
Try anything.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, man. I love that song. That was great. Nice little Russ pick there, Jeffro, with the little proto-punk.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Always been a fan of the New
Well,
York Dolls. They really brought it.
Tit pick, baby, tit pick. Fuck yeah.
all right. Well, I am the owner of this Six Pick, the titular pick of Six Picks Music Club today. And the next song up, our last song, is going to be a song that rescued a band from collapse. And it became a glam rock anthem. And it features one of rock's most underappreciated guitarists, Mick Ralphs, who unfortunately left us earlier this year. So, from the band Mott the Hoople, we're going to listen to the titular track of the All the Young Dudes record. Let's listen to All the Young Dudes.
That's so fucking
Great
funny.
tune,
I
man.
was like, holy shit. I was like, I got some fucking crazy Bowie vibes coming from here. But then he wrote the fucking song, so it makes sense.
Yeah. No, Bowie is this fucking lifeline to this band that initially sort of emerged from the genesis of the British rock of the late 60s. They originally were formed in 69 from earlier incarnations like the Doc Thomas Group and Silence, when guitarist Mick Ralphs and others made some lineup shifts. Mick was one of the founding members of Mott the Hoople, and which is a name borrowed from the cult novel by Willard Manus, which in turn sort of speaks to their kind of literary, sort of quirky edge from their from how they do their songwriting. Original lineup included Ian Hunter, Mick Ralphs, who I mentioned, Verdon Allen, and Pete Overland Watts, with Dale Buffin Giffen on drums. So they did 4 records before this record, and they had a lot of great songs, and people really critically thought of them highly, but they just weren't ever commercial. They're really talented, but they just didn't have a breakout hit or a moment like that. So in '72, their label situation was unstable, and everyone thought they were going to call it quits. But in comes David Bowie to save the day. So he, already a star in '74, had heard of the plight and then offered them this song that he had written because he didn't want them to break up.
He actually originally offered them Suffragette City, and they're like, oh, that doesn't really fit. He's going to, before Ziggy Stardust came out, and they were like, this doesn't really fit. So then he ended up writing this song for them, I think. So,
which is incredible. So, it was also produced by Bowie at Olympic Studios in London. So, get my producer note in there as well. But it's I got this whole element of youthfulness, addressing this youthfulness, alienation of identity, and also just sort of like cast against this flashy garb of their glam rock stuff and undercurrent of defiance. It's just like this. Also, there's a line in there. It's like, now Lucy looks sweet because he dresses like a queen. It's often been cited as this early queer-friendly lyric in rock anthems. So, but one of the notes that I read is that Bowie kind of suggested later that there's the darker meaning to the song, where it's like this apocalyptic thing inspired by his 5 years scenario, where like the ideas that the world is ending and all the young dudes already know it. So it's commercially became a hit, got to number 3 on the UK charts, and transformed the band from being nearly extinct to being these glam rock heroes. And the song's recognized by Rolling Stone as one of the 500 greatest songs of all time, coming in at 166.
They're from where my people are originally from in England, Hereford.
Oh, no way.
In Herefordshire. That's where my folks come from.
Very nice, very nice. Well, so our deceased in question, Mick Ralphs, did leave Mott the Hoople to go on and form Bad Company, and signed to Led Zeppelin's Swan Song label, and had huge success over the 70s.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't pick Bad Company so that I can pick it and say, here's Bad Company from Bad Company off of Bad Company.
Oh, yeah.
Which is something I would like to say at some point.
Well, you will still have an opportunity, but there's a pretty different shift from the glam rock style of Mott the Hoople to that tougher, more straightforward kind of hard rock thing that you get with Bad Company. But there's some style that he adapts to make that a little more ferocious or whatnot. But I think it's got a long-lasting impact, influence. Like All the Young Dudes is a track that sort of becomes this cry for misfits and youth, and kind of bridging it into even its own sort of proto-punk territory, But Mick is a hell of a guitarist, influenced a generation of other rock guitarists, and was a good dude.
Good song. It is one of the top 500 songs of all time. Catchy as fuck. Anthemic.
Yeah. Well,
makes you feel good.
And I got this record at the old End of an Ear shop on South First Street before it had moved to its new location. Just randomly in there, like looking through stuff, not looking for anything, and just like come across this record. And I think the song had just been featured in that movie Juno. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And pulled it out, and sure enough, it's like, I don't know, one of the early copies, and the whole record's great. So listen to the whole thing, listener. I know you listen to everything that we recommend, so thanks for that.
I don't think I've listened to that whole record. Is the whole record is great?
Yeah.
Nice.
I recommend it. Put it on, give it a spin while you're hanging out at the house, smoking a big fatty or drinking a big fatty or eating a big fatty. What? That's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks so much for being with us here at Six Picks Music Club and listening every other Wednesday. We are almost to the end of the year, so let's finish strong. And like we do every episode, we're going to open up the email and take a look at the inbox. And this one this week comes from John and Morrison. And he writes, "Hey guys, longtime listener, first time caller. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate the show. I listen every other Wednesday on my drive to work because that's when I'm scheduled for my most glamorous job, cleaning out the restaurant district's grease traps. On alternating weeks, I shovel elephant shit at the zoo. Yep, 2 different jobs, same smell. Some mornings before sunrise, I'm knee-deep in a congealed, sentient-looking block of fire sludge. Other mornings, I'm dodging half-chewed PB&Js that small children hurl at me with their major league precision while their parents pretend not to notice. Truly, I am living the dream. But your podcast is one good part of my day. The way you tell stories, spiral into tangents, and accidentally educate me about music history makes the drive almost enjoyable. It's the perfect mental preparation before I spend 8 hours inhaling the aromas that the CDC would like to study. So, thank you for the laughs, for the distraction, for giving me something else to think about besides the internal temperature of elephant shit. I'll be tuning in again next Wednesday, assuming the elephants don't unionize first. And if you haven't heard it, give the track Cobra by Geese a spin. That record is incredible. Your biggest fan who permanently smells weird, John." We appreciate the kind words, John. Thank you, and we hope you're washing your hands. And thank you for that track from Geese. We'll give it a spin as we close up the club today. As always, you can find the tracks from today's show in the Spotify playlist in the show notes. Give them all a spin. Thank you so much to Shaolin Death Squad for your opening music. We love you guys, and you kick all kinds of ass. We'll see you in 2 weeks, listener. Until then, just play it loud and keep jamming. This episode of Six Picks Music Club was produced by Lee Nofer. Edited by Yura Koch. With special thanks to Dixie Rhett.